landing. Now, what's important to point out here is that had the Lunar 25 essentially landed, perhaps it would have been a different story. Then India would perhaps become the second country. It's unfortunate if you really look at from the space exploration part. But having said that, what's important to indicate here is that India is all set. Joining us on this special broadcast is Dr. Annadurai. He's popularly also known as the Moon Man of India. There is a reason behind it. Part of the Chandrayaan-3, remember that was the very mission which had discovered water molecules, and thereafter this entire journey continued with at least now with Chandrayaan-3, we are going to complete about 3 lunar missions. Dr. Annadurai, thank you once again for speaking to us. In fact, all eyes would be on the moon landing, but what we forget perhaps is the fragility that is involved in this entire distance that has been covered by this spacecraft. The trans-lunar injection that has essentially taken place, a lot of difficulties, and of course we'll come to that power descent that is going to take place, which Dr. Kesavan had described it as 15 minutes of terror. But first to you, for those who perhaps may not understand the difficulties that this journey essentially one had to face.
Yeah, the difficulties basically look at there. It is more like even our aeroplanes when they're landing, specific terrain like in Delhi or Chennai or Bangalore, the surrounding terrain is also reasonably good. So one is the landing path, another one is the surrounding place also. When you are coming gradually you drop down and you land. That is for horizontal landing. Even the vertical landing also, even the last leg being a vertical landing, the end route from the 25 kilometer or 30 kilometer also, it's basically, look at here, it's moving horizontally. While moving horizontally, it's when it reduces the velocity, it's keep falling down. So then the final leg, it takes a turn 90 degree and it's with the 4 legs it's landing. But paramount important is even the end route also, especially near the lunar poles. The lot of hilly areas type of things are there, very high peaks are there. So the end route when you are coming down from 25, 20, 15, then 12 onwards, I think we have to make sure that our path, whatever the originally planned, is not deviated anyway. If it deviates, it should be corrected in yes and when it's happened there. If it is not there, I think it's a big risky. Even the end route also it's real risky. That's why the plan B, whatever has been accommodated in Chandrayaan-3, with the lessons learned from Chandrayaan-2 is not only Chandrayaan-2, even I can tell to some extent, even with the Lunar 25, also probably something would have gone for our mission, because to make sure that what all commanded for the last leg, whether unambiguously, absolutely no error in that, even whatever the command uplink would have been correct, but whether it is registered properly in all the 3 locations, because basically on board we'll have a couple of locations we don't, even if due to when it's working in the space weather can create something called single event upset. When the single event upset comes in the memory location, it may slightly disturb depending upon the importance of that location in the program, it can create the deviation. But you have a chance in other missions like communication or remote sensing missions, you have the chance to look at and correct it, but you don't have a chance here, because during that time it has to work. So the plan B is to be done properly, and towards that what all we uplinked, so that during the 15 minutes terrain, each instant what speed it has to go, what position it has to be there from the landing site, and what height it has to be there from the lunar, instantaneously there from the lunar terrain, and what direction it has to keep moving. I think this is very, very important. In case for where any one of the reason, because you know, and therefore 800 thruster throttleable engines are throttling. If any one of them throttling is more or less, it can create an issue with the orientation, the speed, and accordingly the whatever the height it has there instantaneously. Though it needs to be immediately corrected as a plan B and come back to a situation for the next it's supposed to take care. So I think it's that's also all the more important. If I look back and we understand correctly what really happened for the Lunar 25, what it's supposed to fire for the duration, it's slightly extended limited time it has done, and that has created an eventual hitting for the moon surface. So that means there was a glitch in the software, a glitch in the locations, whatever it is. Okay, what has been intended has not happened actually. So putting the things together, what are the during 15 minutes, what are it has to do, and if it is not happening, what it is to correct, and accordingly both the main and redundant computers also to be checked very properly, and the each location of the memory also has to be seen very clearly. So then only this, as I told here, en route also you are safe. Okay, I think that's the thing. If you do the lessons from the Luna 25 as well as Chandrayaan-2, I think is a part and parcel of whatever being fed to the Chandrayaan-3, which is having seen a lot of plan B things, and all the plan Bs have been tested and retested also. So that way I think Chandrayaan-3 looks reasonably kept well with all the knowledges gained, lessons learned being embedded into the system, with so many the souls looking for, eagerly waiting for that with the excitement that 15 minutes, and so that we have our Indian made system safely lands, securely lands in a place which as of today nobody has done.